Hey everyone, today we're gonna make some chicken wings. We love chicken wings in this house and I'm gonna be trying a new recipe. This recipe is from the Dreo app. If you've been watching me for a few months, you might remember that I reviewed the Dreo Chef Maker and I absolutely love it and continues to be something that I use in my kitchen nearly daily, sometimes multiple times a day. And basically what it is an upgraded air fryer. It does all the things that an air fryer does. It has a small footprint in the kitchen, just like, a regular small air fryer, but then it's able to cook things like steaks and different cuts of meat just absolutely perfectly because of the probe, so it gets to exactly the right temperature. It has like set it and forget it settings, so you can just plug in what kind of cut of meat you're cooking and it will cook it from start to finish, make it absolutely beautiful. It's just the convenience of a pressure cooker, but getting the results of like a restaurant quality steak. They are having a big sale right now. Today, the day that I'm releasing this video, which is Black Friday, they are having like a huge deal. You can get $144 off of the purchase through the Amazon listing. So I will have that linked down below. This is like the biggest discount I have seen. So definitely if you've been on the fence and waiting for a good deal, this is the one that you want to jump on. If you're watching this video after Black Friday, go down into the description and check out, I will update there where to get the best price, whether it's through the Dreo website or through the Amazon listing, because I do have a special coupon code for all of you guys that goes through their website. So if the Black Friday deal has finished, it'll probably be the best price to go through the website with the coupon code, but I will have that all down in the description below. All right, so like I said, this recipe is from the Dreo app. So they have an app and you can actually control the chef maker from the app. You can find recipes on there and like just click a button on the recipe and it'll know exactly what the cooking program is supposed to be on the chef maker, and it just is super easy. You don't have to use the app to use the chef maker. I usually just do it manually because it's just easy. I don't usually pull out my phone to control it, but that is an option. And I know that that's important for certain people with different disabilities. And so I love that they have that option available, but they actually have a lot of great recipes on the app as well. So I was perusing through their different recipes and their chicken wing selection caught my eye. They have quite a few different chicken wing recipes on there. And the one that I want to try today is the Parmesan garlic chicken wings. Now this recipe, as written, is not keto because it uses regular flour. But what I'm going to do is going to use my protein breading recipe in place of the flour, and so hopefully that will work just as well. The flour coating, it calls for a cup of flour, which I'm going to use the protein breading, and a cup of Parmesan cheese. I chose like the finely grated, like powdered Parmesan cheese because I thought that would stick to the chicken wings a little bit better. So the recipe calls for 1 cup and 1 cup, but only 12 chicken wings. And I feel like in my heart that there's gonna be some breading left over. So I have 24 chicken wings ready to go. And I will let you know how many I'm able to bread with that amount of breading, but I'm just gonna cook as many as I need to. I even have more chicken wings available if I can do even more than 24. We shall see. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started on mixing up the flour mixture. First ingredient I'm going to add to my bowl is 1 cup of my protein breading in place of the flour. And if you've not used my protein breading before, it has 3 basic ingredients: pork rind crumbs, egg white powder, and gelatin. And I always make a big bulk batch and keep it in my pantry. It just works so well to pull out and use for so many different recipes. And I do leave it unflavored, like unseasoned, so that I can add seasonings, depending on what I'm making. One thing though is that the pork rind crumbs do have added salt usually. Maybe you could find some that are unsalted, but the ones I have found have salt. So I am going to be probably omitting the teaspoon of salt in the breading recipe, especially because I know that the Creole seasoning I'm going to be using also has salt. So that plus what's in the pork rinds already is going to be plenty, I imagine. Next ingredient is going to be 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And this is something that provides a chemical reaction in the breading, helping it to like get more brown and crispy. So we're doing 2 teaspoons. We're gonna do 2 teaspoons of black pepper. So these ones are gonna be pretty peppery. And if you don't like that pepperiness, you might wanna reduce it, but I know me and my husband both love that. So I'm gonna keep it at those 2 teaspoons. Okay, now we're gonna do some granulated garlic. And the recipe calls for a tablespoon of garlic powder. And if you love that super garlicky flavor, definitely go ahead and add the 1 tablespoon. We don't like garlic to be overpowering. And there's gonna be some garlic in the sauce that goes over it as well. So I'm just gonna add 1 teaspoon, but that's just a personal preference. Then we're gonna add the Creole seasoning. And the recipe calls for Cajun seasoning, but this is what I have, and I think it's gonna be pretty close. The recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, but that's gonna be real spicy, I imagine, with this. And so I'm just gonna do 1 kind of scant tablespoon. I think that'll be plenty, and I don't want it to be too salty with the added salt in here and the salt in the pork rind crumbs. So I'm gonna call that good. Last ingredient in the breading is gonna be the Parmesan cheese. And so the recipe calls for 1 cup, which is almost this whole container here. Just gonna get this mixed up, and then we will be able to toss the chicken wings. All right, my chicken wings are pretty dry, and I am going to toss them in my breading mixture. I'm just gonna start with 12, like I said, and get them put into my my drawer here, the Dreo drawer. And there are 2 different trays or baskets that you can use to cook. There's the grilling basket, and then there's just the basic tray that you can use. And in this recipe, we use the tray. As anticipated, there's plenty of breading left, so I will easily be able to bread these other 12. So if you are just making 12, I'd recommend just halving the breading recipe, or you could use the leftover breading to make onion rings or mozzarella sticks or chicken strips. Like, there's so many other options you can do with this. These are ready to get cooking, and then I will be starting on the sauce. Throwing these in to the chef maker. And the chef maker has these amazing preset programs in chef mode. If you want to just cook like a regular air fryer, you can go into classic mode, and it's got that air fryer setting, which works just like an air fryer. Fantastic. But we're going to go into the chef mode, and then they have all different cuts of meat, and it's like perfectly programmed to cook those specific cuts. And under poultry, we have chicken wings. So we are going to be doing that. If you are cooking these in just a regular air fryer, because I know not everyone has a Dreo or is going to be able to go out and purchase one, I would recommend doing about 18 to 20 minutes at 400 degrees. It's going to depend on your air fryer, so you'll have to, check it periodically. But that's what I would do. That's what I typically do in a regular air fryer for chicken wings. All right, so they give you tips here to get started. Don't overfill the basket. Lay the food out flat. There we go. So this one does need water, this setting, and this is something that's different than other air fryers. That's really cool. It has a water reservoir up here at the top, and it only is needed on certain cooking programs, this being one of them. And it just injects steam into the cooking process as it needs it, and it helps ensure like a super juicy and delicious finished product. So I added my water there, and it says it's going to take about 25 minutes, and that is plenty of time to get the sauce whipped up. The ingredients for the sauce are butter, which is a great base to any sauce, some parsley, some fresh garlic, more Parmesan cheese, and smoked paprika. So the first thing I'm going to do is melt my butter. The recipe calls for 5 tablespoons of butter. So that's how the sauce ended up. I feel like it needs some more butter in order to drizzle a little bit more. I'm thinking maybe 3 more tablespoons. We'll go with that. That looks better. That looks much better. So that brought the butter up to a full like 8 tablespoons or 1 stick. So that'll make it easy. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. All right, these just finished. Oh my goodness. They look so good. So I wanted to show you, even though I didn't flip the chicken wings during cook time, the bottom side does get brown. The top probably gets a little bit browner, but it's fairly even all the way around. So I'm very happy with that. It's another thing that's just more hands off. It really does cook pretty evenly. So I am going to get these plated and get them coated in the sauce. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to dig into these. And they're so crispy. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but they're extremely crispy. Perfection. Now for the sauce. Oh my gosh. This looks so good. And of course you want to, put the sauce on right before serving because that's going to preserve the crisp as much as possible. I'm not going to use all of this sauce on here, although I probably could. I would say there's not as much leftover sauce as there was leftover breading. Those look amazing. Gotta do a quick taste test. These smell and look absolutely amazing. They're not dried out. The magic the chef maker works is that it's so juicy and moist inside and it still gets nice and crispy on the outside. Like absolute perfection. Oh my gosh, those are so good. The parsley in the sauce just adds this really bright, fresh flavor to it. With something like chicken wings with lots of butter and fat and things, it can be very heavy, but that like brightness of the parsley really, really works in there. These are phenomenal. I don't think anyone tasting this would think this tastes like diet food. Like, even though they are gluten-free, grain-free, keto, low carb, they taste indulgent, like perfect, fun, maybe like movie night food or like watching a football game food or just, have some enjoyment on a weekday evening. They're so easy. Like in the air fryer, you don't have to pull out a big deep fryer or anything like that. They're just so easy, but delicious and also healthy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will have links down below to recipes as well as to where you can get the Dreo Chef Maker. Make sure to check, if this is not Black Friday that you're watching this video, make sure to check the Dreo website and see which way is cheaper to purchase the Chef Maker on their website with my coupon code or on Amazon. Thanks again for hanging out with me in the kitchen today, and I will see you again in the next video.